I remember the exact words my husband said that night. She won't live until the new year. He said it like he was announcing the weather. Calm, cold, certain. At that moment I realized. I was not dying from illness. I was dying from betrayal. My name is Emily, and a year ago I was lying in a hospital bed fighting stage 3 cancer. Or so I thought I was fighting. But in truth the real fight was happening behind my back. The days were long. The smell of disinfectant. The constant beeping of machines. And Mark, my husband of 10 years. He visited every evening with that fake smile plastered on his face. He'd say, "Hang in there, Em, you'll beat this." And I'd smile back even when I saw the tiredness in his eyes. I thought it was stress from bills and work. I had no idea it was guilt. One evening while he was helping me sit up, his phone buzzed. A message popped up before he could hide it. "Once she's gone, we'll finally be free." My heart skipped. I looked at him. But he didn't notice I'd read it. He just smiled and kissed my forehead like nothing had happened. That night I couldn't sleep. The machines hummed. My chest ached. And the question kept burning inside me. Who was we? 2 days later my nurse, Claire, whispered something while changing my for. "Emily, you need to know something about your husband." She looked nervous. I could see her hands trembling. She told me Mark had been visiting a woman named Lisa, my best friend since college. And they weren't visiting the hospital pharmacy as he claimed. They were visiting a real estate office. I refused to believe it until Claire showed me photos. Mark and Lisa holding hands outside a property office. Smiling, signing papers. I felt my entire world collapse. My husband. My friend. The two people who swore they loved me. Selling the house I built. The home where every picture of my life hung on the walls. They thought I was dying. And maybe I was. But not anymore. That night I looked at the stars outside my hospital window and made a promise. If I live through this, they'll wish I hadn't. A few weeks later, my doctor told me there was a new treatment program overseas. It wasn't guaranteed, but it could work. Mark refused. "It's too expensive, Emily, let's not waste what we have left." But I had other plans. When he left that evening, I called my brother James. He wired me money and helped me secretly sign up. The next morning I left the hospital under the excuse of transferring care. Mark never knew. Months passed. The treatment was brutal. My hair fell. My bones ached. But slowly, miraculously, I began to recover. The doctors called it unexpected. I called it revenge in progress. By Christmas I was strong enough to walk without help. By New Year's Eve, the date Mark predicted I wouldn't live to see, I was alive. And angrier than ever. I stayed quiet. Didn't contact anyone. I wanted to see what he'd do when he thought I was gone. Through a lawyer friend of my brother I learned everything. Mark had declared me deceased using false hospital records. He sold our house. Married Lisa within 2 months. And was now living there, in my home. I couldn't cry anymore. The pain had burned into steel. So I planned my return. I waited until the next New Year's Eve. Exactly 1 year later. Snow covered the street. Lights flickered through the windows of my old house. Laughter echoed from inside. I walked up the driveway slowly. Every step a heartbeat. Every breath a memory. I rang the bell. Mark opened the door. And for the first time in my life, I saw fear in his eyes. He froze. His mouth opened but no words came out. "Emily?" "Yes, Mark, it's me." Lisa appeared behind him. Her smile vanished. She whispered, "That's impossible." I stepped inside. The warmth hit me. The smell of wine and perfume. Everything looked the same except the people. Mark stuttered. Emily, how are you alive? I guess God decided not to listen to your countdown. For a moment there was silence. Only the ticking clock. Then I smiled and said calmly. Don't worry, I didn't come to haunt you. I came to collect what's mine. He tried to act bold. Look, Emily, we thought you were gone, we didn't mean. Save it, I interrupted. I know you forged my death papers, I know you sold the house and married her. Lisa started crying. Mark shouted. Fine. You were supposed to die. You left me drowning in debt, what was I supposed to do? I looked him dead in the eyes. You were supposed to love me. I pulled out a small folder from my bag. Inside were legal papers. While he was busy celebrating my death, I had rebuilt everything legally. I had copies of the house deed, the fraud documents, and his fake death certificate. Mark's face turned pale as he flipped through the papers. You can't do this, Emily. Oh, I already did, I said. The police will love these. Lisa backed away crying. Please, Emily, I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I turned to her. You betrayed a dying woman for a man who'd sell his wife for a mortgage. She sobbed harder. And I walked past them toward the door. Before leaving, I stopped and turned around. Enjoy the last night in my house. Tomorrow the police and bank will be here. The next morning Mark and Lisa were arrested for fraud and forgery. The story made the local news. People pitied me. But I didn't want pity. I wanted peace. A month later I moved to a small coastal town. Rented a quiet cottage. Spent my mornings watching the sunrise. And my nights writing. I started volunteering at the cancer center. Helping women who felt like I once did, hopeless and betrayed. Sometimes I still think about Mark. How he said I wouldn't live until the new year. He was right in a way. The old me didn't. But the new me was born that very day. He sold the house thinking I'd die before New Year, but I lived long enough to take it back.